Oh.
So, Betty, you can start if you'd like to.
Okay.
Barbara, get seated.
Do have everybody here, so I'll call this meeting to order. This is the Bay Oaks Recreational Campus Advisory Board meeting, commonly known as BORCAB. It is Tuesday, October 5th, 2021 at 9:03 a.m. and this meeting is now called to order. Would you all please rise for our pledge to the flag?
United States.
Okay, for the benefit of our transcriber, as usual, let's go through and give our names.
Beth Cherry. Barbara Hill.
Betty Simpson.
Becky Guidry. Aaron Woodson.
Allison Geeson.
Very good. And I understand that Bruce has an excused absence.
He does. That's the only one I heard from. Unfortunately, so they may be coming.
Okay, thank you. All right, that brings us to item 4 on our agenda, committee reorganization, and it gives you a chance to have nominations for our chair. I'd entertain a motion for nominations for the chair.
Nominate you, Betty Simpson, as president again this year, chairman.
I'll second that. Aaron
Okay.
Woodson.
We have a motion and a second. Other discussion? There is no other. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you for the vote of confidence. Thank you. That's wonderful. It is a position that I think that we've got a lot of work left to do, and we will go forward. So thank you. And for vice chairman, I'd like to nominate Barbara Hill.
Thank you.
And you seconded. Is there further discussion? Not. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Well, thank you very much again for the vote of confidence for the team that you have.
Yep,
And
exactly.
it's
Thank
all of you
all.
members that make the difference. Believe me.
Forward to continuing.
Yes,
We've got
yes.
a lot, as you say, we have a lot of work to do.
Oh, we certainly do. This time I'd entertain a motion for approval of the August 24th, 2021 minutes. I believe you have all had those.
I vote to approve, make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
That was Barbara Hill and Karen
Aaron
Woodson.
Woodson. Uh-huh.
And we have a second. Other discussion? Not. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. That moves us right on to item 7. Appoint someone to give BORCAB update to the town council on October 18th. In just 2 weeks.
I would do it, but I am out of town.
Pardon?
I'm out of town that day, so,
Well, are you?
yeah, so I cannot.
Okay.
I have an appointment that morning as well.
Right. Well, I would be happy to give the report and any input that I can get from the rest of you before, and please don't hesitate to get it sent Allison. We can't send it to one another, but we can certainly send it to Allison, and she will distribute any information back, and I would appreciate any help on that too. Okay. All right, so I will give that report, and that'll be right at the beginning of the meeting, I'm certain.
Yes,
Oh.
it will be.
Okay. All right. That brings us to item 8, the redevelopment plan status.
So I want to start off, Chelsea was not able to be here, but she did give me an update. So you need all of you to know that on the M&P coming up this Thursday at 9 o'clock, the town council will be reviewing the 60% on plan. Okay, so that will be their first time that they've seen it, so they'll be talking about it. So please tune in to that meeting. It's on YouTube. If you come, you just don't have public comment, but you can listen if you want to listen in. I think it would be great for you all to see their comments, because then Betty will be doing a recap of what BORCAB has been working on the meeting on the 18th.
And is this?
The M&P is this Thursday, Beth, at 9 o'clock. The agenda will be published, so you'll be able to see where the 60% design falls for town council to discuss. And they'll have their comments. And then BORCAB will do an update to them on the 18th. So it would be great if you support, or whatever your comments are for what the M&P is, to reiterate your support as a whole for the advisory board on the 8th. So once they have their comments on the 60% design, then the comments will go to DMRP, the contractors under contract for that, and then they'll start on the 90% design. I didn't get a deadline from when that's projected. From what Chelsea O'Reilly, the Public Works Director, had said to me this morning, she wanted to let you all know that the land transfer, collecting documents for recording for the title transfer of the land. They're also focusing on school improvements at front parcel, which we are anxious to start on, and identifying as many contracts that we can piggyback to be able to get the things completed for the project. And then town council will review that 60% design this Thursday. So if there's any other questions, let me know and I'll get your answers. I did want to let you all know that there was a sheet in here on some of the questions that you had last time. I would be glad to do that for you every meeting. If you all have questions, I can take it to the contractors and get the answers for you. So be sure to read over this, and then today, if there's anything else that I can go back and find out for you, I'll be glad to do so.
Have there been any changes or conversations after our consensus of, as far as staff is concerned, the council will be talking about the?
Not that I'm aware of. I'll double check with Chelsea, but Chelsea's very good about keeping me in the loop, and I have not heard of anything. I think the biggest discussion will be when town council reviews it. I haven't really heard of anything.
That's on Channel 98, right? The same thing as
Yes, it
council
is,
meetings and
absolutely.
everything?
And also, like I was sharing with Becky this morning, YouTube, they archive, they have things. If you miss it, you can go back and watch it. So if you do miss it, be great, your convenience to be able to go on their channel and to be able to, and you can move around so you see the part you want to.
Okay.
Really convenient.
I have something, and we brought it up right at the end of the last meeting. When they did the design change, it took away the soccer field.
Yes.
And one thing that I would like to put back out there again is maybe we don't need 2 baseball fields. Maybe we can take the small one and convert that into a soccer multi-use field that could be used for flag football, soccer, maybe flag, something else in the future as well. But I know I wasn't opposed to how it was before, because the soccer field was already incorporated into the big baseball field, but with losing the size, we lost that. And that's something that I'd like us to be able to actually have more of on the island, rather than us having to use Kelly Road soccer complex all the time.
I love that idea. I think it,
So
And if you look at numbers, and I know it's not there, I know there's a lot to do with a lot of other things, but unfortunately, our Little League program has been dwindling over the years, and it's not as big as it was. So we might have more benefit by having 2 types of fields rather than 2 of the same one, and not being able to incorporate soccer.
has anybody reached back out to some of the ones involved with Little League to see what they thought about this idea? Because, they were involved in our charrettes from the beginning.
And they were very adamant
They were.
about
So,
the 2 fields.
has anybody, Beth, have you reached out to them or Becky?
Is Shannon still?
I think Shannon,
Call
no,
Shannon.
Shannon or Landini. I can ask her also, but she's kind of doing soccer.
I know,
more like
she's
kind of pulled away
removed-
from the beach. a lot,
She's
so.
removed a bit from.
There's another gentleman that's president of the Little League. I can't remember his name. He came here as well. He was a representative.
It might be my neighbor.
That would be convenient.
I think that the 60 days, I guess my question is, if there was political will to do that, is there actually any available space to make a soccer field happen?
We would have to take away the small soccer,
Right,
the small baseball
If-
field.
If that were to happen, there is adequate space for a soccer
I,
field?
I have seen the dimensions of it.
I can check with the contractors. That'll be my first question. And I'll get back to you all before the next meeting. I'll email it to you to see if the small field would make, because there's three different, so what type of field are you looking for? Because I did find out there's different sizes of soccer fields.
Right,
So
if we had a full field,
is it U8, U10? That's
No.
how they,
it would be, let's just say U18. Okay, U18 is a full-size soccer field.
okay.
And out of that full-size, it's like, so for example, right now at Kelly Road, we have they gave us one field for all of our teams.
Right.
So and in that one field, I have the U18, I also have a U10 field and a U12 field. So I
all
can,
your
I can
needs.
line
Right,
the fields
okay.
this way for the extras, I have the big field for the big teams, and then the little guys, they could, that's
I think
easy.
U6 is even out there.
Yeah, sometimes,
Yeah.
so.
You can fit a lot of people. And so there's one that's practicing at Bay Oaks, but they're the only ones. So everybody else is out there. It's very separated. I agree with that. From what I understand is the Little League in the past has raised a lot of money for Bay Oaks, and that was part of the issue. I'm not familiar with that, honestly. That's just what I've been told.
Yeah,
so maybe
they
that
do
was
generate a lot of
why-
revenue from the
Right.
parking for the sand sculptures.
I know. I mean, as far as the kids that are playing, some of the ones aren't even going to play this winter. They're already saying. So I don't know. My kids haven't ever played, so I'm not familiar with Little League as much. So.
And mine played everything, so we've utilized all the fields.
I do know that it is natural, just like the attendance at Beach Elementary, for the numbers to fluctuate on a
Right.
natural level anyway. So I know the numbers may not be huge, but
And that's what I said, they could, if the big field could be utilized for, and both, softball, baseball, the little guys, because they can usually just move the plates
Yeah.
around.
right.
Why have two and completely push one out when you could have one of each?
Okay, let me make sure I'm asking the question to the contractors correctly. Will a U18 size soccer field fit where the small Little League field is now? And could we make it possibly multi-use for the small Little Leaguers to use, and then also for a soccer field? Because the leagues are different, so it wouldn't harm to do that.
You're talking about the Little Leaguers to use the big baseball field, though,
Right.
not that field.
Right,
Oh, okay, so-
could they use one field? And we
Okay,
use
so-
one field.
And so that's where I will say we need to either check the minutes or reach back out to Little League, because there was a lot of debate on that, because.
Charlie Whitehead.
Yes, that is, but there's
Charlie-
also one other gentleman, it's.
Well,
at,
Charlie Whitehead is, I think he's the main contact.
Okay, yes, I do,
No,
I do.
is he still?
There was another gentleman that was at our charrette, and I just cannot remember his name. It's been a couple years ago.
I have to go through my alphabet to try to remember.
Okay, so I'll rephrase that. U18 for soccer field with the small one, and can Little League, would they be okay with just one field instead of two? And how could we have that accommodate?
Because in reality, for practices, when they're not utilizing a field, they could use the soccer
Soccer field.
space for drills, for throwing and things like
And
that.
how could they use the soccer field instead of having two small fields? Could we make that work for them?
And I think our intent, when we were having these charrettes, was to actually have these fields as multi-use.
Absolutely,
And
Barbara,
so
yes.
have as much flexibility depending on the audience and who we were trying to serve would be, the goal. So this is in keeping, meeting that goal.
Can I ask one of you all as advocates for the town for this to reach out to Little League to see their
I
thoughts?
can.
Can you do that for me, Beth? Great.
I mean, if you need help, too, I can.
I know all of them.
Great. Be good if they could just
Thank
get,
you.
get their input to see, make sure that they're kept in the
To get them
loop.
to be open-minded.
And actually, it's a great question to ask now, because from what I see, and I'm not, it seems to me that soccer is much more popular.
Oh, yes.
Am I right in terms of the activity, the interest, you know?
I can tell you this much, there are kids that are 100% soccer, there are kids that are 100% baseball, there are kids that just want to play every sport.
Okay.
So, you know, there are kids that play baseball year-round, there are kids that play soccer year-round. We actually have a competitive team that's playing for Fort Myers Beach, that plays year-round now. So but I mean, it's gained more and more popularity through the years, absolutely. And it's more obvious too. It's promoted more now as well.
Soccer's more dynamic too for the kids, but like, because my kids are 6 and 8, and so they like soccer. They don't have a preference for baseball because they don't want to sit there and wait their turn. They're a little impatient. So they like to be out there for soccer and running constantly and doing all that.
Right.
But there's a lot of kids on the beach that are playing soccer. We have a league going right now, so I like that idea.
Okay, great, that's
There's
good.
more publicity for it on TV too.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
showing all the soccer games. I mean, well, I think that there is more interest.
There are, like you said, I mean, flag football, there's Three Oaks is starting lacrosse. I mean,
We could do there's all kinds of things that you could do with that type of a field.
Right.
Whereas when you get into a baseball field, you are a bit more restricted because you have the green space and then you have
Clay.
the dirt, the clay, so.
All right, so I will check with DMRP about this. Beth, if you'll reach out and see, once we get to that 90%, this is the time these kind of changes need to happen now. So once we get to that 90%, these kind of large changes will be very difficult to do in the design because it'll be all but 10% complete. So this is perfect timing for us to check on this now.
I wouldn't have said anything before because I thought we were covered, so.
Yeah, that little shift made a
ooh,
huge
you bet.
difference. Yeah.
It was an ooh moment for me.
and I like that better than, I appreciated that you answered the question about the proposed future building area. And it could fit a certain size of soccer field, but that's a lot better because I was at Kelly Road last night for soccer practice, and after they practice, they start scrimmaging to the different teams because they're all in the same space, and so they have that benefit of doing that together. It just makes a big difference for the kids.
Okay, so I'll check on that, and then we'll wait to hear from Beth on how they feel about
I guess this is a little Monday morning quarterback. Given the fact that the school board had radically shifted our plan,
Yes.
and knowing that we didn't really have any legal binding agreement with the board and the division of all those properties, and our plan was already going forward at the 30% phase before all of a sudden everything over the summer where the school property lines are. Would it have been a better situation if we had put out the school board property ownership and the town ownership before jumping into the
Barbara,
conceptual plan?
I agree with you, but that was a last-minute change with the school. So we had thought that we were all in agreement, and then at the last minute, they changed it. So there was absolutely nothing anybody did wrong or could have done to prevent that. It's just it was part of the process. And unfortunately, as you all see, it caused a lot of shifting and changes within that design because of that very small decision. It was part of the negotiations, and they came back and wanted that last minute change. So there was really nothing that I could see that could have prevented that if we had a crystal ball. It was just part of the process, and then coming in late to say I want to make one more final change.
Really, there was nothing we could have.
I'm getting notice, we're supposed to make sure that our mics show green when we're talking so that they can hear.
Oh, okay.
They
Yes.
can record it or
Right.
whatever they're doing.
Right.
Barbara, you should have two. You should have one over here and
You want me to use this one? This one
Oh,
seems
that
to be
one's
on.
working, yes. Got a green light there. Anything else on the redevelopment plan? Looks like we are moving forward. And that brings us up to Friends of Bay Oaks. Karen, have you got anything for us?
About 100 pages of copy stuff here. The good news is the government is now picking up their phones again. So,
Good.
after an hour and a half of waiting on hold, bad news is we have to start from scratch. So we have been inactive for too long. Shows on documents that original date that we filed was October 20th of 16. The dissolution came September of 2019, and we're now 2 years
2 years out.
away. So if it was 1 year, that's different. They can reactivate, but 2 years they cannot. So we have to fill out Florida and the IRS, start from scratch and do all this. I looked through a lot of this. I don't know, because we don't have financial statements. We don't have, I mean, we might have had previous financial statements, but I evidently have to call someone else to find out if we can just start from scratch with no financials, just give them all the information, what we're doing. We were with Iberia Bank, so I can call them and find out what kind of historical data they might have for us that we could get. I do have the bylaws and articles of incorporation that I'm going to have to attach. And then I was also thinking I could call Denise and find out if, by any chance, if she has previous financials that they could look at or whatever. I don't know that they're going to make any difference. So, so all of this paperwork has to be completed. I will try to do my best to get through it. I don't know that I know all the answers to it. Maybe, Denise will be willing to help me, or I might reach out to all of you. I chose to print it as opposed to trying to do it online and saving it and all that kind of thing, because that could get tricky.
So Karen, not to interrupt, but would it be good to say that we are looking for somebody who maybe had some time on their hands that's familiar with these kind of things to donate their time? I know the Friends of Mound House has been very fortunate in the past with people wanting to help the Friends, and they have this as their expertise. So I'm just going to throw it out there to see if anybody comes forward to help, because I know it can be overwhelming, and we have somebody who continues to file for us for the Friends of the Mound House. So I'm going to put that out there if anybody's listening and they would love to help support the Friends of the Bay Oaks. This would be a great way that they could help.
I would love that, because it almost takes like a CPA, tax accountant type
Yes.
person, or an attorney,
Attorney.
which I am neither.
Just to fill out the corporate papers?
For the IRS
corporation?
and the Florida Department.
Nonprofit organization.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then Beth, they
We
have
had
to
to do
do
that.
reporting and filing as part of the
Right,
taxes.
we have to do that for soccer, Little League, all the
And then you have your
nonprofits.
financial statements. So we have a combination of people who are in the financial field and also several attorneys that are practicing that help with the Friends of the Mound House. Between those two, they file each year annually, and then they can renew with their 501c3, and the financial statements are taken through just the meetings and just the balances of things. What was spent, what was taken in from what. They can be very easy, but it is something recorded in the minutes and then turning them.
How would we be able to reach out to some of those, see if they're interested in doing it for BORCAB as well?
If
Friends of Bay Oaks, I
I
should
wanted
say.
to ask, I think it would be a great idea. Social media, as you all know, is what a lot of people are on. If one of you wanted to start Friends of Bay Oaks Facebook page, and just to ask for people and what you need to help get this reinstated, I think would be a great way. I can ask press release get done by our volunteer who does our press releases. I think we could do a couple of different things. Just for volunteers to help with the Friends of Bay Oaks and see who we could get.
We have a few accounting businesses on the island. Yes.
Does anybody know anybody who would,
I can check, my names are really bad
that's
right
okay.
now.
That would be
Him, I
great.
know, I can see
Yeah,
him.
somebody on the island,
He's
that'd be
tall,
great.
runs all the time. Kid went to Beach Elementary. You know who I'm talking about?
You know who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I'll go in my database of memory and figure that out.
You bet. And just, as you all talk to people, and just in passing, if they know, I think it's word of mouth as well, still is very powerful if you. I'll definitely put my feelers out and see if somebody would. Great cause to get it reinstated and
Well, and I can try to work on, I was just looking to see if there's any leftover of Friends of Bay Oaks on Facebook, but I don't see anything. So, I can maybe see what I can do to get that set up.
wonderful, thank you.
That way we can
Great.
get at least an announcement out or something. Try that.
What I'd like to see is how, Allison, you have worked so beautifully with the Friends of the Mount House and making sure that the documentation is archived and giving a certain amount of credibility that the Friends of the Mount House really on an official level never really had before.
Yes.
And I can see a similar structure for the Friends of Bay Oaks.
I would really highly recommend that because the archival information is institutional history. And, as board members come in and out, it's just a really great way to have access to the archives and the paperwork. And I would love to be able to provide that because I just think it's important for continuity and you can always go back and find things. And it's not like we have truckloads of things. They're fairly, and now with the scanning, you can digitize everything. So I would really love to do that. And the Friends of Mount House were set up so beautifully because Dan Hughes was a part of it and he was an attorney and he just really got in there and just set everything up. And now his son Michael is still hanging in with us, volunteering for that. So I hope that we can find somebody that loves Bay Oaks just as much to help come and share that with us because it's really been helpful because I don't know anything about, I know how to record and to keep access information, but it really does take somebody who does this to understand what's required, when it's required, the annual meetings, all of those statements that have to.
And that should rightly be the responsibility of the nonprofit organization
Yes.
membership and not necessarily.
Absolutely, Barbara.
We've got a lot of other
Right,
things.
I will just make sure that the access of
Just a few.
information is available, and I'd love to do that, Barbara, yeah.
Maybe there's even, I think of one person whose kids are at Beach Elementary. She's an attorney. Whether she wants to get involved with this or has time, but there might be other, parents that want to be involved because it is part of Bay, school and Bay Oaks, it kind of
Sure.
joined. So there'd be somebody on, one of the parent
Might.
organizations.
We tried to get her on the board on this before, I think.
Might be somebody
Monica?
out there that's just waiting to be asked.
Yeah, and
Even
she's,
somebody who's a
See,
member of the
I'm glad
chamber
you know
that
the
we're
names
not really
because
tapping.
I knew
Monica.
exactly who we were talking about.
okay. Well, and she has been on the board for Friends of Lovers Key. She is dropping off that board. She's president of the Women's Club. So she has her hands full. But maybe it would be something that she would just be willing to do as an ad hoc kind of thing. Because that's the role that she's going to play for Friends of Lovers Key. So I can reach out to her and
Well,
ask
that would be
her
wonderful, yes.
and just see what she has to say.
Okay,
And then we'll know for sure.
okay. Thank you, Karen. Right. ready to move on to our departmental report. Fright Night, October
Yes, so
22nd.
That is on front and center. I do want to make a slight, because of so many generous people on the beach, candy donations are taken care of. So we are
Are they all
very
taken
excited
care of?
about that.
Yes.
However, we do need, if people would like to still contribute, you know, we still need decorations and things like that. Staff right now, because the fiscal year just started 5 days ago, are now busy buying all those things that we need in order to construct the haunted trail and things like that. So, and then we also need volunteers to help with the haunted trail. Because we're outside this year, it actually takes more because we're spread out. So anything, if you all, I included some little flyers in your packet. The staff has done a great job helping with these. We are really trying to get our volunteers. We do need to get our volunteers registered though, so if you know anybody who would like to volunteer, just put them in contact with Bay Oak staff or myself and we'll get them registered.
If they're a teenager, do they need to do the background check and all that
They
stuff too?
do.
Okay.
Because we are, children and families are gonna be on the property, we do need to have the paperwork done, and we'll pay for that.
Or is it online or just here?
No, it has to go through human resources, so if they submit their name, we can do it all through email. Online, I meant to say. They can be in contact. We're really looking for volunteers too, because we have several special events throughout the year, so if they would like to help us out at Mound House, I know we have our special event volunteer. We only really like to do special events. We would be glad to put them on board for that if they would like to help with this, and then maybe something down the road. 4th of July is always a good time for the parade.
What's the email address?
Send it to me, that's Allison at fmbgov.com. 1 L in my first name, Allison. And then I'll make sure that they get in touch with Susie. Thank you very much, Beth.
We have teenagers.
We will put them to work.
I just want to do a shout out to Ed Ryan and Kim for their work in helping to promote this event. Danielle had given me the flyers via email a few weeks ago and handed it over to Ed, and he did an incredible job gathering candy donations from the community through a match where he'd have to go to Walmart to actually buy the candy based on the contributions, wearing an actually outrageous vest.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
make it into event, excuse me, a live event that
film
will,
it,
I
yeah.
think, be taking place soon. So I think our candy contributions, from what I understand, and I don't know exactly what amount you're looking for, Allison, but I understand that is more than covered.
It is. Chelsea O'Reilly did a great fundraiser over the weekend, and I think she didn't know how successful she was going to be. So we have all of our candy plus some, I think. So everybody's going to get like 2 handfuls this year, I feel. But our candy is very well underway, and a lot of people from the beach contributed, and she matched as well, so we're very excited. So if they would like to donate, we still need decorations and things like that, so.
Can you give me a dollar figure of the budget that you have for decorations? And, I mean, if for example, somebody doesn't want to contribute candy, but would prefer to give a cash donation toward the decorations, how would they do that?
They could contact Bay Oak staff, and then we could see how they could make that contribution. What's happening right now is because it's still the pandemic, a lot of things, if I were to say, oh, get a gift card to Walmart or get a gift card to, but a lot of places when you go don't have things in stock. So it's very hard for me to say exactly what amount and where, because we don't always know where we're going to get supplies because we wait until the first of the fiscal year to start buying. So if they wanted to make a donation, they could just monetary donation, they could do something like that would go towards, but I would need to work out how exactly that would happen within the town, because we are government, so I'd
Of course,
have to.
this is where the Friends of Bay Oaks
Yes.
have been a very useful
yes.
process,
Right,
by
right.
which those contributions could
You
be
bet.
tax deductible from individuals.
Absolutely, absolutely, Barbara, that's exactly right. So I will definitely find out and know that information. If they just want to reach out to the staff, we would be glad to help them with whatever donation they would like to make. But yes, our candy, thank goodness, is really covered, so
Good.
we really appreciate.
Yeah, so from what I understand, so Ed had asked for like a $200 and then he would match. They have $400 in donations.
It's great.
That if the candy is full, oh, you talked about like what else can he, construction of the haunted trail, what is involved in that? He could go those supplies
He
or,
could, and that's where the staff could help with those details.
okay, so should I have him
So is
talk
it
to?
specifically Danielle
Yes,
that people
absolutely.
need
And
to?
if he wants to physically go, and we go, okay, so we go to Party City, we go to Home Depot and Lowe's multiple times, because there's always things, and then there's some online places that they shop from. So if they contact the staff could give them a little shopping list if they would like. And that-
That's what he wants to do and have it,
Absolutely.
kind of film
Absolutely.
it and
Yeah.
they can splash out of
I
it.
think that would be perfect.
Okay.
So Danielle has been, and Nicole and Jimmy, all if they call, they can help, and then they can give details as far as what they need, because they're really getting to the nitty gritty of everything that they need for that haunted trail. It would be perfect.
Yeah, because he has the $400 to
That's
spend,
wonderful.
so
Thank
he
you
wants
so
to
much.
do
Yeah.
that. Okay,
Is there a
perfect.
number in the event that people are listening to this meeting that they can just call instead of, because I'm never quite sure what department would be
Yes, so
most
the
appropriate?
main number for Bay Oaks is, and they can just call the rec center, and it is 239. He's waiting. Funny, they used to be on, let's see, here we go, Bay Oaks campus, here we go. 239-765-4222.
That memorized.
You did, you just forgot it, now you have it again.
And is
That's
Danielle the only Danielle?
Danielle is the only Danielle, and she can help answer any questions that you may have. So a big thank you to everybody that's contributed, so.
Who's
If
doing,
people
I'm
were
sorry.
to volunteer, do they also?
They can call,
She's the
contact,
volunteer
yes.
coordinator for.
You can
for
put them in
Frontenac.
contact with where they need to go. So we're kind of, helping each other with that. Yes, they can also go there, because there will be paperwork that is required to fill out. So we will just need them to register before they volunteer.
Okay.
She can also assist with that. Welcome.
Who's doing the food?
We have several food trucks coming in. The Doghouse is one of them.
It'll be good.
There's two other ones. I'm so sorry, Becky, I can get that
I'm
to
just
you.
curious.
They were just finalizing the food trucks. The food trucks, because some of them require a minimum, and these are not doing that. So it's really great. Doghouse, and we've got two other ones coming. One of them, I think, is frozen ice and another food. So remember that. I do know the Doghouse will be. There will be food that people can eat. Of course, games and inflatables, and the haunted trail, and
Is the price for the admission including the trampoline and the slide and all that?
yes, it's all included.
That's pretty good.
So everybody that contributes, and I hope that Ed will let us know who's contributed in this, because, anybody who makes the donations, we want to send a thank you, of course, and also give them some free passes for the event. So I'm trying to get everybody so they can get their thank you and everything.
Let him know.
The only thing that they would pay for, Beth, would be if they wanted to eat. Mm-hmm. Everything is free. And we have our costume contest still, so it will be outside. So I want everybody to make sure they know it's outside this year.
I actually think that might be better.
I like it. I think the haunted
As long as it
trail is
doesn't
going to be
rain.
fantastic.
Might be a little different.
It will be. I'm looking forward to it, though. Everybody else is too.
Did you get the flyer that I sent through soccer? I sent it to the whole soccer
Oh,
club.
good.
Sorry.
No, we want everybody to know that it's happening this year. Missed last year.
And I think a lot of the kids aren't necessarily on island, like they don't
Exactly.
know about it, so I think that's
All right.
Well, that's
Let me-
all of my report. If you have any questions, let me know. That was really just the top of my list, and thank you to all who's made donations, and we really appreciate all the support.
If there isn't anything further, we'll move on to the board member items. And I'll start us out with an article that was in the Observer, and something that we've been wanting to do is to get more publicity, or Bay Oaks, of course, all the time. And there was a nice article in on September 1st, and it told a little bit about us. And I think anytime we can get something in the Observer, I mean, unfortunately, it's the only mechanism that we have for news. And so anytime we can get something in, I know that Allison has been responsible for getting this in, but it does list the different things that we have going on, and they're all things that we know are continually going on, but we just have to make the rest of the public aware that this is what's happening. So,
And staff did a good job sending that out, Betty, and if anybody's listening or out there ever wants to be added to our list when we send things out, we'd be glad to include them. Let us know.
if anybody is kind of inclined that way, don't hesitate to get the information to Allison with
You add
regard
me?
to.
You add me to, when you send stuff out?
Yes, Beth, I can.
Sometimes I have random photos popping around that I might share with you.
Do mine too. I don't think I get any of that.
All right, we would love to do that.
Good.
I'll add you to the list. And the staff is, we're trying to get the updates and the information sent out to all of the members of Bay Oaks. So there was just a constant contact email sent out about just our programs and things like that. So now that we are getting back into season, because it's October, let me know if you're a member and you're not receiving something, because we're really trying to get our list updated and get the information out no matter what. It should be coming out every month, and I think there was one just sent not long ago.
I don't think I got that.
I don't remember.
Danielle was sending it, actually she sent it over the weekend, so I don't know if it might be in the junk folder or, but I will make sure that you're all on that list.
Okay, other board member items. Barbara.
Thank you, Betty. And yes, you're absolutely right. The Observer is the main source for print media. However, as Alice was talking and staff is doing, digital media and social media communications is really key. And I think that Ed Ryan and Kim deserve a huge kudo for their promotion of Bay Oaks and also for Fright Night. So through their
Indeed.
Beach Talk Radio News, they have a Facebook page, they have the live show on Saturdays, and they have a newsletter. So all of those vehicles by which the news of the beach is out there on an international scale is major. So all three of those vehicles are very valuable. That's all I have to report.
Yes. Got anything on that?
Let me know if you need help with any of that for Friends of Bay Oaks. I'd be more than happy to try to
The
assist.
first call is going to be Monica.
So, other than that, and what about the Facebook page?
I'll work on that. I'll look into it, and I don't think it's that hard to set it
No,
up. And
it's
do
not.
we have any pictures though? Anything online? Could you
We have some really good pictures, yes.
send me those so that I could upload those when I create this Facebook
Absolutely.
thing? That would be.
If you want any pictures of anything else that has happened in the past at Bay Oaks,
That would be
that
would
I
be
am
fun, too.
I'm a wealth of photos.
Okay, yeah, I mean, because I can
Through the
just do kind
years.
of like collage that would come up every time.
I've got thousands of photos of
Okay.
events that have happened at Beach Elementary, at Bay Oaks, et cetera. Jill?
You don't need thousands, just.
No, just
the
tell me
highlights.
what you want. Tell me
Whittle
what
it
you
down,
want, and
Beth.
I'll send you a couple. A couple, that's what I'm saying, I've got lots of, whether it's Fright Night, whether it's, whatever. Lots of stuff.
Perfect.
Lots of kids.
That'd be great, thank you. I don't have anything else at this point.
Thing, okay. Becky?
The only thing I have is saying that I appreciate us discussing things like soccer and different things with the kids, because I'm still I spoke with somebody last week, and Bay Oaks was mentioned, and I was like, oh, I'm on the board now, and we're talking about it, and I got, why are you even doing that? The people on the island are 70, and there's not many kids at the school. Why are you pushing for anything? It was disappointing, because I know that is the mindset out there a lot of times, and the fact is, a lot of our residents are senior citizens, but we still do have younger families. I mean, I'm 42, so I'm hoping in 30 years I'm still going to be on the island, So
bet.
then I move into that category, more than 30 years, but but anyway, I think it's really important that we are still focusing on some of the youth activities, and like you said, like the school is fluctuating, the attendance fluctuates, and I know right now it's down, and honestly, my kids don't even go to that school.
Right.
But we are involved in a lot of it. It's personal reasons. It has nothing to do with the school. And so, we are involved in a lot of the beach activities. There are children, there are families. I mean, it's important. So I appreciate the discussions that we have.
Bet.
And actually,
Thank
I
you.
think that Allison was mentioning that there were photographs, I think, obviously photographs that are publicly distributed, either on Facebook pages or however, even in the Observer, to say, look, these are our community youngsters. Let's promote that instead of the senior classes. But until there's a photograph, it's so hard to envision.
Right.
So it's all a matter of getting the word out.
It is, and on our Facebook, not our Facebook page, we have that too, but on our website, you can see all of our programs and our children that have been in summer camp and in Club Rec. And this year we have a large number of the K through second, which is, last year we didn't have so many. So a lot, an influx, actually a rise of the ones K through second. And it's not so much as, it's more than the third through fifth for our Club Rec. So it's really great to see all the little ones coming in fresh and new to our program and to attend it until they, until they go to our teen group.
Right.
So that's something that's been exciting for staff, because I think we have 19 to 21, I think, in that K through second, and that's large for
That
us.
is huge. That is so exciting.
It is. So we're really excited to have that, and hope that number grows with our interlocal with the school, with our clubs and things that we're going to be doing.
That relationship is so important. I agree.
Yes, it is, and
School's
we
so
are
important.
really excited to be able. And already they're using our gymnasium on Wednesdays.
I think
so
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
do
love
too.
that.
we are already.
that.
We are already instituting that interlocal agreement, so we're really looking forward to the next year of everything really coming along.
It'll open more people's eyes to what's here as
It
well.
will.
Right.
Is staff encouraged to actually take photographs and upload them onto the town's Facebook page?
They do. Look at our
Their
look at our not only the website page, because when you click into the different programs, they have a wonderful archive of photographs that they have for both the pool and for the rec center. And then on Facebook they do as well. So staff is always busy posting and things like that.
I guess I just don't see it. That's the thing that, is somehow, it's obviously, interconnected with staff and on the website, but if I'm not accessing the town's website or working with the staff physically, I don't see it. So to your
a lot
point,
of it, do you follow them on Facebook?
Follow what? I'm sorry.
Follow Bay Oaks on Facebook, because they post there. I don't know. I think they
There
have an
were a
Instagram.
couple of Facebook pages, right? I think at one point that was
But
a
we've
little
remedied
confusing.
that. That
Okay,
was a
great.
long time ago. So their Facebook page, and they put that out to make sure you have the correct one. But they post things on that. So if you follow, then you usually get, things on your feed that's new posted, like photos and things.
Okay, great. I'll do that.
There's all kinds of kids,
Aren't they
photos
great?
here, and baseball, and pool, and all ages. I love that too, because I mean, even though the seniors is saying, well, why do you focus on the kid? Well, we focus on you too,
And
You
you
bet.
should, that's
know,
why
it's
everybody should be
everybody,
represented,
so.
exactly.
all levels, so,
And they have grandkids.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've got basketball, flag football, Fright night, I got,
Yeah.
Okay, any other board member items I've missed? Okay, well then let's move on. Next item would be future meeting dates, and normally we would be meeting on November 2nd
And
at
the,
9 a.m. That happens to be election day. Don't know if that's going to impact
Doesn't-
us or not.
impacts me.
I wouldn't think so, but, no.
Do have
Okay.
our strategic plan update is going to be due, so I'll be sharing with you our update on the strategic plan for Bay Oaks.
Good.
You have that for the agenda.
So November 2nd, you said, Betty?
November 2nd, yes.
Yep.
It's that first Tuesday of the month. Okay. There isn't anything else to come before us at this time. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
second.
Who made the motion?
Beth
Who
Cherry.
made the motion?
Yeah.
Sorry, Beth Cherry, second.
Beth, okay. And who seconded?
Second.
Okay, Barbara? Thank you. Okay. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you. At 10:54. 9:54, excuse me.
9:54.
That's a record.
Yeah, it is. Because we did start, I think, 3 minutes late.
Thank you, Betty, good meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Allison.
What's your
Yeah.
email address?
Initial K,